Hello everybody, Infernape Shinjo here, and I am here back with Q&A episode 16. Episode 15 just went live, and I had one question carry over from the episode before that I didn't get a chance to answer, and I literally just woke up 15 minutes ago. Let's get with these questions. So Divine Guardian starts with two questions, both about Pokemon journeys, which this is going to be certainly an interesting way to start this episode. First question, do you think Go has the potential to be one of, if not Ash's best companion? So there are going to be a little bit of spoilers for Pokemon journeys that I'm going to dive into with both of these questions. So if you're watching the dub of it, or if you're not caught up to it, fair warning. So Go himself is a very interesting character. First of all, it's been a bit of a ride with Go. At least from what I've seen before Journeys came out, people thought that Go was going to be a female. Not exactly sure why, maybe because of the eyelashes or whatever. Not that that really matters, but that's just something that I felt the need to mention. But Go himself has an interesting concept. Basically, he wants to capture every single Pokemon and then eventually Mew. Now, obviously, considering there are over 700 Pokemon, and most Pokemon series don't have 700 episodes, that means if he wants to capture everything, he's gonna need to capture, I don't know the math, but it's a lot. Let me just take it from, how many Pokemon are there now? I think there's at least 800. I think we broke 800. I'll do it for both situations. I have a laptop or a calculator out here right now. So let's just say 800 Pokemon, and I'm not exactly sure what the standard is for a Pokemon series. Let's say 150. That means that he'd have to capture 5 Pokemon an episode, which honestly doesn't sound too crazy of a feat. Let's try it with 700 Pokemon. Not that that actually matters. So 4 to 5 Pokemon a series. 4 to 5 Pokemon an episode, I should say, if he wants to capture everything. Now, obviously, that's just all speculation. I don't think that Go actually is going to capture every single Pokemon, because probably a huge portion of that are the Gen 5 legendaries, because there are so many of them. But Go is certainly a polarizing character, to say the least, because one of the more recent episodes of Pokemon Journeys, he caught a Suicune. And I know that ruffled feathers in the Pokemon community. Now, me personally, I didn't really mind it because, first of all, I saw it coming because the preview literally showed him capturing Suicune. And at the same time, it made sense within the episode. He befriends the Suicune, earns its trust, and then captures it. But at the same time, Suicune's still roaming the region. Of course, that episode just came out. I'm not sure, or anybody's not sure at the moment, if Go's actually gonna remember he has a Suicune, or if it's just gonna be tossed aside like most of his other Pokemon are. But aside from his goal being a bit of a broad idea to go for, a little bit of a crazy one at that, I don't think Go's that bad of a character. I'm not sure if that's an unpopular opinion, but from what I've seen from Go so far, I really like it. I mean, he started out as being kind of more analytical, I guess, and at the same time, there have been times where Go is actually encouraged. Ash, like the Flygon episode after Ash's loss to Bee, that Go basically encourages Ash and says, I learned this crazy battle style from you and whatever. Regardless, I think Go has some moments of development in the series. So it's hard to say at the same time. So far at the pace they're going, I'm liking where they're taking his character to actually treat Pokemon as friends instead of just capture them to get Mew. But at the same time, it's only like almost 60 episodes into Journeys at the moment. For all we know, they could botch Go's character near the end of the show. Certainly hope they don't, but time will tell on that front. And question 2, what do you think about Koharu / Chloe? How do you think she would develop as a character? But Koharu Chloe, again, it's another situation of spoilers for people that haven't caught up to Pokemon Journeys. And I'm going to refer to her as Koharu because I watched the sub, but Chloe is her name in the dub, and in the dub she is voiced by Cherami Lee, and that's certainly a plus because that's Patty from Soul Eater. But how Koharu will develop as a character, honestly, I'm seeing a bit of a same pattern that they did with Sonia in the Sword and Shield games. Think about it. They are both daughters of professors, and little by little they're learning more about Pokemon. Sonia didn't really do that in the games, but Chloe's really going for learning more about Pokemon because she just didn't want to be bothered with them. I see it as a mix between Sonia and May's development. Like, I feel at the end of the show, Koharu is 100% going to be a Pokemon professor. I just have that feeling because, like, her dad is a professor, but at the same time, if she decides to go for the professor route, then that kind of defeats the purpose of episodes involving her saying, you don't have to do what your dad does, you have to follow your own dream. So I don't know what they would do with that. It would feel kind of redundant in that sense, because, like, if anybody watching is just like, well, my dad is an electrician, a plumber, anything like that, any job that they see someone like Koharu basically do the same thing, doing the same job as her dad, then a lot of impressionable kids might think, well, guess I gotta do the job my dad does. And at the same time, it is still early in her development, way earlier than Go, because she literally just got the Eevee and didn't get the Ponyta. Still salty about that. But obvious is obvious. I feel like somehow Koharu is going to go back and get the Ponyta. Wait a minute. I did just kind of think of something. And I do still feel that, well, maybe not. I was thinking about how they're going to treat her character like Sonia. But since Sonia's in the anime, they might not do that. But I did think of another character that they could have her story be based off of that isn't in the anime yet. Bede. And it makes so much sense because Bede becomes a gym leader at the end of the games. What's the gym type he becomes? Fairy type. What does Koharu need to capture? Ponyta, which becomes a fairy type. I feel that eventually they're going to go back to Glenwood Tangle. She's going to get the Ponyta. They're going to run into Opal again. And Opal's going to say, you make a fine gym leader. And she might become a gym leader of the fairy gym, just like Bede in the games. Of course, that would unfortunately mean that another Pokegirl would get a Sylveon, but I don't know. As far as her Eevee, like everybody else, I feel like it's going to be a Gigantamax Eevee, so yeah. I guess this can also be considered my speculation for how I feel Chloe's character is going to go, but yeah, I feel like it's going to be a route of her becoming the gym leader in place of Opal, because that's how it is in the games. So, another question from Divine Guardian. The last one was from episode 14. This one is from 15 that just went live. And 2 questions again. First one, have you watched Boku no Pico? Note this is a joke, don't take it seriously. Dude, I know you meant for this to be a joke, but I have a story with this. So, for answering the question, the answer is yes. And the story with it, back when I was a small channel, and I think it was right after I launched Let's Play Turbo. Nope. Right when I launched Let's Talk Anime, that people just started throwing requests for stuff to watch out there. And somebody recommended Boku no Pico. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, Boku no Hero Academia, it's similar, right? And to be fair, the tip-off should have been how hard it was to actually find it. So, I guess for anybody that gets tricked into the meme of, watch Boku no Pico, ha ha ha, because I felt so silly about it, because after I didn't even watch the full first episode, but I was just there like, do I actually talk about this for YouTube, or do I not? Just a dumb, fun story on my part. So question 2, which is obviously much more I can talk about. What is your all-time favorite YouTuber, and who inspired you to start YouTube? By the way, I love all your anime videos you do. Thank you so much for the support. It's honestly fun. Not fun. It's honestly great to hear feedback like this, because a lot of the time I just pump out videos, and unless somebody specifically says, this is a great video, then I won't know if what I actually did was good or not. So it's great to hear encouragement like that. So, all-time favorite YouTuber, that's going to be a hard one, because I go through moods. Like, 1 minute I like watching this certain person, the next minute I like watching somebody else. So, it's hard to pinpoint like an all-time favorite. And at the same time, there are so many content creators on YouTube, so there might be some that I would like that I haven't even watched yet. But with that being said, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and say Shady Penguin is very good. That's the first one I can think of right now. Not saying that it's not a good answer, because I still feel like it's a solid answer, because he's a dad, he's got a family, he's like very wholesome, very fun to watch, very energetic. If you haven't watched any of his videos, I would recommend that you do. He is doing a Pokemon Heart Gold game, where his Mons evolve every level at the moment. And he just started Radical Red. This is certainly going to date the video, because his Heart Gold thing might be done. But, yeah, he's a fun guy. Plus, he also has a channel where he opens Pokemon and any sort of trading card game stuff. So, that's fun to watch as well. And who inspired me to start? I feel like, at the same time, since I watch so many people, I just take bits and parts of other people's speech and make it my own. Like, even now when I'm at work, I just randomly think Pog, because I see Patter stream all the time on Twitch and YouTube, so it's just become part of my daily vocabulary. But since I've already mentioned 2 PokeTubers, I will at least mention a couple of AniTubers, because I do talk about anime on my channel. I don't know why I said anime weirdly. Let's go with Jojo Talks Too Much, because he is a pretty good content creator. I really enjoy his videos. And the Trash Taste Podcast trio. So, the Anime Man, Giguk, and Sea-Dog. All 3 of them are really fun to watch. And at the same time, if I'm trying to think of ideas for anime videos, I look to their videos first. But at the same time, that's a drop in the bucket from all the people that I do watch and all the people that are on YouTube. But those are the answers that I got. Greninja of the Hidden Water Village has 2 pretty good questions right here. The first one is, what anime tropes do you find the most cliche and annoying that you hate so much? Honestly, that's a toughie because I never really think about anime tropes negatively most of the time because I just turn my brain off when watching anime most of the time. That's actually very hard because, like, the first one that I can think of is, like, the dumb character. But I'm not sure if, first of all, if that's even considered a trope. I feel like, in a way, it can be. But at the same time, it's kind of not. I don't know. At the same time, there are a lot of dumb characters in anime that I do enjoy. Like, Nadeshiko, well, she's not actually dumb, but she's, like, kind of there. Like, the bubbly sort of character is what I'm referring to, I guess. But, like, I like Nadeshiko, I like Patty from Soul Eater, so it's probably not going to be that. I would say, right now, since I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, and that's the only one screaming in the back of my head, Tsundere. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of people that enjoy Tsundere characters, but for me, there's a time that it works, and there's a time it doesn't. Like in Nichijou, they go over the top with it, and they go full crazy with it. But most of the time, Tsundere's just come off as a bit arrogant, and it's just like, I know you're probably in high school because 90% of the Tsunderes are, but you gotta just stop worrying about, like, I'm not worried about you, Baka. Okay, please just stop. I mean, there's a reason that Tsunderes have been memed to heck and back. But I guess, anime trope-wise, I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. I would say another one, I'm not sure what it's actually called, but, like, a situation where two characters will be able to talk things out and solve things, but everything's just a misunderstanding and everything just falls apart. So basically, Gamers, the anime. I don't know, there are just some times where misunderstandings happen and I'm just getting to the point where just talk it out. But I would say Tsundere is probably top one for me. Question 2, when did you start watching anime and what was your first anime? So, to answer this, I'm going to toss out Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Digimon, and Dragon Ball Z from the equation. Because most everybody either knows about those 4 or has seen those 4. So, that would be, I would say it might have been 2017, maybe 2018. I would think it was like right before or right after I started my YouTube channel. My other one. Because I had a channel before this. I got taken down for copyright. Yada, yada, yada. And I would say my first one outside of those, I believe it was My Hero Academia. Although at the same time, some people will probably say take My Hero out of the equation because it's kind of normie at the same time. I don't know. I think My Hero was the first. Baka Test was also one of the first that I watched because I don't remember who it was. Somebody said about watching Baka Test. I don't know why, but I did and I really liked it. So, My Hero, and if that's not a good answer because it's still too normal, then Baka Test. And we got 2 more questions here. This one from Seal Hikari, which never seen them on the channel before, so that's cool to see more people pop in. And question 1 is, what characters in My Hero do you like to ship? For me, I ship Mina and Kirishima. Funny enough, I completely forgot this was a question somebody asked after mentioning My Hero in the last one. Yeah, Mina and Kirishima is actually pretty solid because they do have a history together. I never actually consider shipping for the most part. I'm not sure entirely why, but My mind needs to jog itself. I'm still trying to wake up. What are their names? Todoroki and Momo. Because they got that little development thing when they were facing Aizawa, and they just, I don't know, they seem like they work well together. At the same time, I'm not really that savvy with shipping people, so I don't know. That might be still a vanilla choice, but I don't care. And question 2. Have you ever played a Final Fantasy game before? If so, which of the franchise was your favorite? I'm gonna need a couple minutes. Sorry for that break. I just needed an answer because I did play a Final Fantasy game on stream once before. Final Fantasy V, I played for 2 different streams. So technically, I have played a Final Fantasy game, but at the same time, it's not something that I regularly do myself. And at the same time, only playing Final Fantasy V, which itself was a ROM that I just played on my laptop, I can't really say which one of the franchises is my favorite, because I've only played one game. I hate for the end of this video to be a little bit anticlimactic with the answers, but if I can't give a solid answer, then I really can't. But that is going to be it for this episode of Q&A, episode 16. And hopefully this time, all the questions are grouped up and accounting for. I'm recording this 2 days after the Q&A went live, the last one. So I'm hoping all the questions went in, so for episode 17, I just have to worry about the questions that come from this one. But we'll see what happens. If you enjoyed, hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't. If you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comment section. I don't want to say this because it makes it come off as the other questions in other videos were kind of meh. But I really enjoyed these questions, discussing Pokemon journeys, my all-time favorite YouTuber, that was a fun one. My first anime, really good questions, very unique to say the least. But yeah, I will see you in the next episode. Mamentai.